Hey, how about you, everybody? Am I moving? Because my screen was frozen. How about you, everybody? Welcome into this week's call-in show, Auburn Live on 3 recruiting call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Tonight, we're going to answer all your questions, and we're going to address all your comments. To help me do so, I've got my two cohorts with me, Mr. Jhead, Mr. Cole Pinkston. Jhead, how the hell are you, big dog?
Fantastic, brother. Glad to be here with you guys tonight. And in the words of Jack Nicholson from The Shining, I'm back.
Oh, Jhead.
You back.
He went to, would you go Vegas?
Yeah, I went to 30A. Spent a little time with my son and family out there. Fantastic, man. Now, you wouldn't think that I got a tan out there. I honestly did, but this ring light that Cole suggested is making me look a little pale right now.
30, you highbrow, son.
No
doubt.
How did you see the place I stayed at?
Cole Pinkston, how the hell are you, big dog?
I'm awesome, man. Got a little too much sun, but hey, it's all good.
Is that why you're red?
A little red, yeah. It's not because my wife's calling in on the show tonight.
Miss Pink, Coach Pink.
Is she gonna call in?
I don't know. She might. She's always watching.
Oh,
so in the other room, right over there. So
yeah, right.
Hey, Cole's got to get that constructive criticism after we're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you stutter too much. You know, I'm just kidding. She don't do that. Good job. Good job.
Well, folks, if you are joining us tonight, Wednesday night, July the 27th, you are familiar with Auburn's commitment list, having grown by one today. 4-star edge Wilkie Denard from John Carroll in Fort Pierce, Florida, committed to Auburn earlier this afternoon. Huge get for Auburn and much needed momentum. We want to at least talk about it, and we will. But first, go War Eagle. Jumping in here with a question, man. I heard Posse might reclassify to 2023.
Oh, you knew it was coming.
Oh, go War Eagle. I'm so sorry, big dog. That happened in a matter. I guess they're referring to me, right?
Yes.
I was waiting on you to read that one. I was looking forward to you reading that one.
Oh, my God. Okay, so go War Eagle. What happened, dude, is that I wrote a war room today on Auburn Live on 3. I put down an itinerary, a potential commitment itinerary for Auburn. I listed the years in which each recruit is classified. I mistakenly left off Adrian Posse's year. And then when somebody brought that to my attention, I went back in there to change it, and I put 2023. And then somebody brought that to my attention, so I went back in there and changed it to 2024. And during those 6 minutes, somehow Adrian Posse was going to reclassify to 2023. So that's where that's coming from, and I apologize. Dingleberry of the week times 2 right here.
Well, Jeffrey, it just shows you how attentive our subs are, man. People on board, they're ready for news. They're waiting for it. They're ready to go.
So that is, as far as I know, go War Eagle. That's the first I've heard of it. It was derived from my lack of attention to detail. I apologize, but in like 6 minutes, that's what happened. And I don't know, it must have taken off. But that, to my knowledge, go War Eagle is not true. To my knowledge, it's not. What's the news on that? And any chance with Jakeem Jackson? Jakeem Jackson is a 4-star. Is he 4-star?
Yeah, I think
4-star cornerback
from Florida. He's announcing tomorrow. It's all Florida from what I've heard. T-Bell's cousin, he came for an official visit, or he was an official visit. I got him at the hotel. I can't remember.
Anyways, it was official.
Yeah,
it was definitely official.
Planned to come back with his mom, but Florida's, they want him in the class. They want to go ahead and lock him in. Kind of said, let's do this. And he said, okay. So I expect Jakeem Jackson to commit to Florida tomorrow. And he's a good kid. I wouldn't doubt him visiting Auburn again in the fall. But tomorrow he will commit. Stereotypical Auburn fan. Oh, man, I love these guys. Should we still expect an Aiden Holloway announcement? Good gracious alive. I hear you, big dog. Aiden Holloway, 4-star point guard, top 50 point guard in the 2023 class, has been rumored. He had not confirmed it with anyone. He was going to announce this past weekend. He was going to announce Tuesday. Tuesday came, and he's now going to announce either Thursday or Friday. So, yes, to stereotypical, he will announce, or at least he's expected to. He still ghosted me for the past 10 days. because I think he's got a deal or an agreement with ESPN to announce on live television, and that's why he's not just me. He's ghosted. He's ghosted Jamie Shaw. He's ghosted Joe Tipton. He's ghosted everybody that's not associated with ESPN. I think Paul Biancardi from ESPN is kind of handling all those announcements, the commitments this week out in Las Vegas. All the top recruits are announcing getting their time on television, and Aiden has been pushed back. Till Thursday or Friday is what I was told. There is absolutely no worries there. As a matter of fact, Jamie Shaw had a story today on 3 about Wesley Yates, and Wesley Yates was talking about Aiden recruiting him. And I thought, well, shit, man, he ain't even associated with anybody right now, technically. So, but that ought to tell you, man, Aiden is definitely recruiting Wesley Yates. Wesley Yates does not appear to be in any hurry. He's going to take a lot of visits. I don't even think he's got it down to a top 10, although I think Auburn's in a very good spot for him.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, I'm with you on that, dude. Zach knows this as well as anybody do. We've been waiting on this commitment for a while, so we've got stuff ready to go. We just need to know when. Good question though. All right, caller, get us in there, Zach.
706. You're live. Who are we talking to?
Hey, what's up, man? This is AF Auburn on the board, but I go by Bryce.
What's up, brother?
Bryce?
Yeah, how y'all doing, man?
Doing well, Bryce. How about yourself,
Great.
big dog?
Oh, hanging in there, man. I'm out here in North Texas, and we can't stay cool out here.
Ooh.
I mean, 110 every day for about the last month. Ain't got a drop of rain.
Damn.
So,
Yeah, that's tough.
That's brutal in that part of the country.
I'm in the Air Force out here, so I'm stationed at Shepherd Air Force Base, right up by the Texas-Oklahoma line. But I'm originally from out there in Beulah.
Oh,
Eula.
Hey, how?
Yeah, I don't know if the Potato Boys went by a Tiger Takeover out there in Beulah.
they hit him.
They probably did.
I don't know, man. I don't know too many studs coming out of there. Few go to Alabama State or something local, South Alabama, but nothing big. But
I feel like there was an offensive lineman out of Beulah.
First time calling in. I'm a long time kind of lurker of the board. You know, I've been rolling with Jay Lee since T. Brown had a good attitude. So,
Hey,
yeah, man. So I just wanted to. I had 2 questions. One kind of towards recruiting, the other one just kind of scheme and all that. So I guess this first one would be there to Cole. So I've been seeing your kind of positional kind of breakdowns. You know, you had the secondary or whatever today, and just kind of looking at the groups. You know, more that we're kind of concerned about. Obviously, you look at, say, the linebackers, right? But I feel like with the linebackers, we got these big boys up front. You know, they're going to eat up all that space up there, maybe open up some lanes for these smaller linebackers. So I feel like we're going to be okay there with Imba, Jason Jones. I feel like we'll be okay. And then with the wide receivers, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, is Hilliard probably the best teacher of the position that we've had here in 10, 15 years?
It remains as far as his track record goes. Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job with that in the pros, and bringing that knowledge is huge. And they think he's going to be a massive hit as an on the field coach, and that's probably going to be true. We haven't seen him in the college, and it should be the same as far as that goes on the field coaching, and maybe he has some input in the offense too. We don't know how that's going to work quite yet, but yeah, I think he's gonna elevate that wide receiver
compared to, say, like Trooper or we all love Cody Burns, but I mean, we really wasn't getting a ton. But I mean, Beulah's route tree probably had more routes in it than Gus's. A hitch and a fade. So that was kind of tough for Cody to kind of break through there. But my kind of point to the whole deal positional groups is just looking at the offensive line. I know Justin posted about it, and I kind of feel personally that the whole season is going to hinge on that. And I don't worry so much about, Zaire, if that's who it's going to be at tackle, because I think we've got so many tight ends. We'll be able to help him out over there in certain, kind of scheme things. We got 3 or 4, and I think Frazier's going to be one of these guys that's going to be just an extra tackle and kind of heavy packages and stuff. So my question to you, Cole, is do you think really the whole success of the offense is now going to hinge on whether or not Braum has gotten stronger, and able to get some push, maybe get to that second level and play side gap and actually get some push up front? Is that pretty much where the season offensively is going to hinge on outside of injuries?
Well, it always hinges on the offensive line. I would say that they've got to improve in the run game. I'd say they did a pretty good job as pass protectors last year, and even back in the spring when we caught up with Will Friend, he called Killian Zaire the best pass protector on the team. He said it. So wow. I think he's a good left tackle prospect, and I think personally, to me, quarterback play is what it hinges on. And I don't think the quarterback play was good enough to win, 10 or so games last season. It showed. There were times when quarterback play was the biggest issue on the field. And I think that's what it hinges on. I think the pass protection is going to be good enough to get the quarterback in the right place.
And Cole, if you don't mind, I'll chime in right here. Yeah. So Cole says that with quarterback play, we were unable at times to depopulate the box. Our offensive line probably is middle of the pack in the SEC, I would say, but probably not good enough to overcompensate for the fact that you were playing against 7- and 8-man fronts sometimes where they were rolling a safety down in the box to run those run fits. So our ability to be able to stretch the field, our ability to sustain drives is going to open up the run game. I also think that we were transitioning from a run scheme where we were trying to phase in the outside zone versus where we had been heavily inside zone for years underneath Gus. And drop back pass and inside zone are the two things to do in all of college football right now. Now stretching the field horizontally with the outside zone with a tailback like Tank spreads that field. If our tackles have the athleticism to get out there, and I think that they will this year, if you move Troxel over to the right, you have Zaire at the left, you have more athleticism on the field. I think that accentuates the skill set of what we have up front a little bit better. So I think you should be able to see us not only with Brahms being able to climb to that second level a little bit better, but I think our setup and understanding of the scheme is going to help a lot. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, being in year 2, kind of going through there, getting bigger and stronger. I tell you, the kind of the social media stuff that they're putting out and just showing these guys, we're not getting any calf pictures, but these guys definitely look bigger and stronger. I know with Gus, it wasn't, Ryan Russell, I know I've heard you guys kind of defend him, and it was more like Gus was looking for flexibility and stronger. I mean, kind of smaller, quicker and all that kind of stuff. But these guys, they look a lot, look bulked up. So that's good for the summer. Yeah. And my second question, I guess this would be kind of all you guys. I know a lot of people really in all the Auburn world, Twitter, everything, and everybody's like, what the hell does Will Friend do on a day-to-day basis? Because every recruit that we see, I know Janoris, was it Wilson? A lot of these guys, they're not even tagging Will Friend or anything. They're just going straight to Bernardi and all that. So do you think that this is set up by – because when Harsin and them, correct me if I'm wrong, when he came in last year, it was, hey, recruiting is going to be second. We're all ball in the fall, kind of going through into fall camp. We'll worry about recruiting when visits come up. And obviously he knows that doesn't work. So do you think this is a situation where he's just putting Bernardi and Ruzick and these guys and saying, hey, get them out there, get them on campus, and then we'll work it once they get on campus to kind of free, Will Friend up for more scheme stuff or what?
Jay Lee, I think this is perfect for you, but I got a joke on this whenever you get done, man.
Bryce, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think with all we just talked about this, and you guys can check it out on the Shrivel Pod in the morning. But with so many staffers, the personnel Auburn has in recruiting right now, it frees these coaches up for a little bit. Now, that doesn't free them up from everything. Will Friend has his guys that he's recruiting. I think it's going to determine, especially when it comes to Joe Bernardi and Will Friend, who relates better to this recruit, who can develop a better relationship. Which one of us, Joe? Is he my kind of dude, or is he, can you relate to him better? I think it's going to be who can develop the strongest bond, because I don't think Joe Bernardi is a one-hit wonder when it comes to this year. I think he's at Auburn for as long as Auburn will have him. I think that's going to be huge for the 2024 class. I don't think, South Alabama offers him a job next year. I don't think he's running for it. I think he's He's very happy at Auburn, and I think Auburn is going to take advantage of that. I really think it's all about relationships. And Will Friend saying, I could do all this, but I shouldn't have to. No, and he shouldn't. Not when you've got all these guys to help you recruit. So I think it's more along the lines of, hey, man, here's 5 guys for you. I got 2 or 3 over here that I'm working real hard on, and I'm also going to be studying up on film what we have right now, making these guys better, because Will Friend's number one job right now, I don't give a shit who you are. You can say he's a recruit. Will Friend's number one job and top priority right now is to give Auburn an average to better than average offensive line in September. Nothing else matters right now. So I think Bernardi is saying, I got you, man. You go handle that. Let me handle these kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and then they're bringing the closer in towards the end, because I see a lot of these guys not even in the same position group, and then they'll tag Zach Etheridge. So is this where they're kind of getting a good feel like, hey, man, I think we got something cooking with this guy, and then bring in the closer, whether that's Etheridge or, Rock. I know Rock's been a big hit on the trail and all that. Is that kind of what they're trying to do? And I know Harson's taking a more hands-on approach with all this stuff too.
Well, see, Harson's got his guys too. I mean, he's helping out. He's not helping out with everybody, but he's got a select few guys that he's building these bonds with. Zach, as far as I'm concerned, I think most of these kids are tagging him because it's his area. Zach is going to be put in the most dense areas of talent, like Atlanta, Montgomery. He's going to be there. Mobile. He is going to be there. He's going to be where all the talent, or where a lot of the talent comes from. So that's where you're seeing his name a lot. But most of these bonds are being made with the position coach or the assistant position coaches.
And back to your question on the O-line recruiting, I think Jay Lee just hit it perfectly. You think about how deep of a class we're trying to recruit on the offensive line. And if you're trying to land 6 guys in a class, you're probably recruiting 25, 30 guys. You know what I mean? That's a lot for one coach to keep up with all the time. Now, my joke, I was talking to Christian Clemente from over at 24/7 today. We were texting back and forth, and he was asking me about the Janoris Wilson tweet. And I said, look, man, Will's got that old school flip phone, man. He can't text back fast enough. He's got to get Joe in there on that.
Yeah.
But the reality is, when the season is as important as it is, and you have so much pressure to perform at the level that we have to, and you're recruiting that prospects, or your board is that deep, you need 2 guys on it. I mean, it's just vastly important for this class that you have as much attention on the offensive line as you possibly can.
And Bryce, let me say this. This is not an Auburn thing.
No.
This is at every SEC school that I follow. When I see a kid and I read an interview from an Alabama or our Alabama On 3 site, they're talking assistants too. To the assistants too. So this is it. If you're going to compete and text these kids and text them back right away and always have a line of communication up with them, you better have more than the position coach texting them. Hey, but Bryce, hey, good stuff, big dog. And
yeah, man, thank you guys for taking my call, man. Keep up the good stuff, and I'll call back in again, man. Y'all take it easy.
Well, absolutely. We appreciate you. Definitely don't have a bad attitude, so we will accept your call.
Got another caller here. 334, you're live. Who are we talking to?
Hey guys, it's Jaylee Pinkhead.
Jaylee Pinkhead.
There he is.
Hey, you hung up on me last week.
Oh yeah, my phone died.
Yeah, that's what all the girls told me.
Hey,
What's up, Jaylee Pinkhead?
So I haven't been able to watch tonight. Has there been any news about On the Victory? I think that's what it's called. NIL thing.
Jhead, this is right up your alley.
Yes. So they're going to be going live July 28th, to the best of my understanding. I think that's
tomorrow
out now. Their site, so that you can kind of see who the board of directors is, their mission statement, everything else is up actually online right now. I think if you Google their NIL collective name, On to Victory, it'll pop right up. But they should be going live on the 28th. And within that, you're going to have your various pay options where it's like crowdsourcing. So you can put forward as much as you so choose, whether it's like $15, $25, $50 a month if you want to donate to NIL. It's not in the bracket that it was at before when it was Auburn NIL. And I think it was like the minimum was $250 a month, which is a sizable commitment contingent on who's providing. I mean, that's a car payment for some people.
Yeah,
making it a little bit more crowd friendly. And you have a group of guys that are very invested in Auburn. very invested in Auburn being successful, that are running this organization. And I'm not trying to bash Rick Davidson at all. I think he did a fantastic job with standing Auburn NIL up. But I think you have more people that are invested, more people that are known within the Auburn alumni community, and they should be able to probably bring more high-dollar donors into the fold, in addition to making it more accessible for normal fans like me and you to probably be able to donate and contribute to Auburn NIL and its success moving forward.
Good. With Denard committing today, did that have any sway?
It did not. And I meant to address that in the behind the scenes. NIL was never brought up.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, you're gonna find that with a lot of these kids. You're not gonna find it with all when this class is done. You're gonna find that a lot of them, NIL was not an issue.
No.
You're hoping you get some kids where NIL is an issue, right? You want the Quay Russalls and James Smiths talking. You to get those guys, NIL is going to be a factor. But Auburn's going to have a lot of guys that does not. And so far, all 5 of the guys that they have committed, NIL was not an issue.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Well, that's all I had. I'm about to head to dinner. Y'all.
Jay Lee's Pinkhead. You cut me off last week. All I wanted to know was, do you know where Billy Walls lives?
Yeah.
Billy, my parents live right behind him.
Oh. Have they always lived there? They
bought that land from Billy Walls about, I think, 15 years ago.
Okay.
You know Shane White?
Yeah. He was railroad person.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Interesting. Okay.
You know Nubby Dog?
Who was that?
Nub. Mark Smith. K&L, that's my uncle and aunt, man. Anyway, yeah, Woodland represent. I hear you, Shelly Pinkhead. Go and get you some supper.
Well, y'all have a good show.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
We got 2 more callers here.
Oh yeah, bring him in.
916, you're live. Who we talking to?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Hey, it's Bow Tiger 4 on the board.
Hey,
Boy Bull out here in Northern California.
yes, sir.
Just wanted to call in first and say, hide your kids, hide your wife. We're recruiting everybody out here. War Damn Eagle.
Woo!
I like it.
You just get pumped. I was excited, but I do have a question for Jhead. I hope you're all right, man. I know you went on a little sabbatical. I feel like you haven't been posting as much. I hope we're not getting to you on the board.
Oh, not at all. Listen, I was on vacation with my son down in 30A. It was just an opportunity for me to be able to break away from my day job and disengage for a little bit. I hope everybody has the opportunity to do that before what I call the precipice of hypothetical opportunity. You know what I mean? Season hasn't started yet. Everybody's hyped about it. Recruiting's about to gear up. So, you know what I mean? It's just an exciting time to be a fan. It's an exciting time to be a part of this site. And we really appreciate you calling in. But what's your question, my man?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Jhead. We are rabid fanatics. I'm sure you already know. So,
oh yeah,
always good to take that the dad lifetime and good for you. But I wanted to ask you, Cole. You posted earlier about Good Times Part 1. I wanted to ask, is that for today, or is that just for leading up to this weekend? Because you're going to have some Part 2s and 3s.
Yeah. Well, we've been saying all week that we think Big Cat Weekend could possibly produce some more commits. So that is what I'm referencing there.
Okay, I thought so. Just we were curious because I know Trevon put out his bat signal like about an hour after Wilkie committed, so we didn't know if something else was coming or just all good things in general for the day. But
Saturday.
But yeah. Okay. No, I appreciate that, guys. And then lastly, I guess someone had already asked about Jakeem Jackson, but I was just curious. Excited to hear about potentially Lou and where we're trending there. But is there any Any movement on Stanton Ramil? Is his car fixed?
Yeah.
Does he want to come back to this?
Man, that's a good. Cole, do you have anything on Stanton?
I don't really. I know that he's still being recruited just like he always has been by Auburn, and everything's kind of gone quiet with him. I'm wondering if he's got maybe an announcement coming of when he's going to commit, or if he just commits. And I don't know if it'll be to Auburn right now. It just seems like maybe the momentum's trended away there, but they are going to keep working on him, and they have a good relationship with him too. So.
Yeah, a lot of speculation from the national guys that Michigan State and Tennessee are the two favorites at this given time.
Yeah. And
that he could potentially commit by the end of the month. But like you said, Cole, it's been quiet. Nobody really knows what's going on with Stanton. Not that's being reported anyway.
He recently visited Auburn in, what was it, May? Was that May, Jeffrey?
That was June.
Yeah.
He came over for a one-day visit in June, was going to come back, but, had a car issue.
Yeah, right.
Make it.
Very weird recruitment. Very weird recruitment.
It is a weird one. But he's kind of like he can ride over to Auburn whenever too. So if he doesn't, use one of his official visits to Auburn, then it's not a huge deal because he's right there.
I think he's done on OVs. I think he's taken all 5, to the best of my understanding.
Yeah, and I don't think he used one to Auburn, did he?
No, I think it was Pittsburgh, North Carolina, Penn State, Michigan State, and Tennessee were the 5 official visits that he took.
So that makes sense that he would come back for that day in June to check it out, almost like that was the official visit he didn't use there.
Right. And it was going to be a multi-day visit. He was going to come back and spend the night. And, Cole, we talk about when we talk to recruits, and you can just hear the excitement in their voices. It may not come out on paper or on the screen, but he was one of those guys who said all the right things, but his tone was very melancholy. Like, I didn't walk away from that going, Yeah, man, Auburn's a great school. I really love it here. It's,
which when I talked to him at one time, when I talked to him at the Under Armour camp, I did get the feeling that he was all excited about Auburn and like, wow, I'm blown away by everything going on. So,
matter of fact, I think he was in every one of our 5 for 2 back when we were doing that. Good Lord, go back and listen to that. But
man,
he was. I wanted to tell that on the Shrivel Pod. Do not go back and listen to our 5 for 2. That was back when shit.
Everything was on the table, baby.
Yeah, man, it was happening, son. It was rolling, baby. It was rolling. We probably need to address that maybe after the Penn State game. We'll come back after the Penn State game and redo our list. But yeah, go back. Stanton Ramil. I thought early on Auburn was the team to beat, and that was the vibe he was giving me. And then all of a sudden it turned sour. I'm talking about his attitude, or maybe he was just tired that day because he had been traveling a lot, but he just wasn't very excited when I talked to him. So I'm really not. I almost kind of forgot about him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like I did Brock Glenn at one time.
Yeah.
And kind of now.
I'm still forgetting that name.
Me
But
too.
in that vein of left tackle recruiting, watch the name TJ Johnson. Going to be here for Big Cat Weekend. He's a former basketball player. He just played his first season in Louisiana, a talent-rich state of Louisiana, as a left tackle. Got a lot of comparisons to some guys that have played at Auburn, like a Sean Coleman because of his length,
right?
A King Dunlap guy of that nature, really high upside that I think the staff is high on, and I'm interested to see if we can make a move with him at Big Cat. But he is your prototypical left tackle. I think he just needs some refinement.
Right.
Okay. I guess last one I had, I know we're cornerback wise, JC Hart's a top target of ours, and he'll scheduled to come for Big Cat Weekend, and he just visited UCF. But I know we've got some safeties, but is there any other particular corners that we're looking at right now?
The corner board is interesting too, isn't it? It's a good question.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Jakeem Jackson was the guy we were tracking, and now it looks like he's going to Florida. I mean, I think you're going to see some new names emerge there, and soon. Definitely.
I agree. I think that's one that Zach is he's going to look to get JC on board. He's obviously got a couple safety targets that are going to be potentially visiting for Big Cat Weekend that he's probably going to tend to. And then beyond that, he'll probably revisit it and evaluate it as the season goes, if I had to guess. That's one of those that you can catch a guy like Roger McCreary that develops late.
Right.
You know what I mean? And get a really good player.
I think too, you keep working on Jaleel Hurley. You know, that's something that's going to keep going on no matter what. And some of these other guys too that are from
Terrell. Y'all remember him?
Yeah, A.V. Terrell. Tell you a name that I have heard recently, and I'm digging into that one a little bit more, is Jair Hill from Illinois.
Kankakee.
Kankakee, yeah, something like that. Kankakee, something like that. From Illinois is where he's from, and maybe somebody to watch there. I think Illinois, Michigan were two schools that were in on him, but Auburn offered him a little while back and hasn't been much said about him. But he's somebody to watch too, I'd say. And
some of the probably down the line guys. We've always heard Ethan Nation's name for a long time. From Roswell, Georgia. Dale Miller committed to North Carolina, and I'm sure Auburn could make a move there. J.C. Hart.
Maybe even Ryan Robinson was a guy that's visited a few times from Louisiana.
He loved Auburn. He loved Auburn. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm like Cole, though. I feel like we'll see a rejuvenated board.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
With some new names popping up because some of these guys.
Yeah.
That's one of those positions, too, that guys are smaller at that position in their sophomore, junior years. And then all of a sudden they hit that growth spurt senior year and you go, now that's a legitimate defensive back. You look at him a year before that and it's like he was 160. Now he's 175, 180, and you go, let's give him another look. That's why guys emerge at that position a little bit more, it seems like. And there's plenty of them out there.
Bo Tiger.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you. Have a good
Appreciate
rest
you.
of the night. I'll keep listening in and give others a chance.
Appreciate you, Bo Tiger. Stay out of L.A. out there, big dog.
One more caller right here. 919. You're live. Who are we talking to?
How about you, fellas? Calling from Hickory, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Misidentified myself last week, but board name Bookout.
Hey, what's up, Bookout?
Nice.
Fellas, looking at the 23 board, it feels pretty clear of what it is, except the DB. I know you just talked a little bit about where we're looking at DB. Jaylee, you mentioned Ethan Nation. Is that a guy we're all the way out on, or is that something that's still a possibility?
I think it's still a possibility. If you'd have asked me last year at this time, I would have said Ethan Nation and A.J. Harris would be part of Auburn's class because Zach had developed such a great relationship early on with these kids, and they're really good friends. They traveled everywhere together last year, made multiple trips to Auburn. A.J. Harris, of course, now is is he a 5-star?
Yes, 5-star committed to Georgia.
Yeah, he's committed to Georgia. And then Ethan Nation, who I think we kind of knew from the beginning, Ethan was not as talented or wasn't going to be highly regarded as A.J., but there is and I think Cole and I have been trying to do this. We've been saying we need to touch base with Ethan Nation for a long time. And
yeah.
Because I haven't. So that's probably a guy I'll put on my call list just to try to check him. I know his father. Met his father last year a couple of times. A really good guy. Both of those, all good people.
Right.
So be curious to see what is going on there. I will say this: somebody asked about Ramil.
Yeah.
Earlier, and we were dead on. He's kind of backing off. He's not showing as much interest in Auburn as he was. So I just wanted to relay that on. Sorry, Bookout.
That was the feel for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we got Terrence Love in the boat, and probably looking to take a second safety. Looks like the guys we have now, looks like we're going to return. I mean, unless you see Puckett have an incredible year and go.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like we're going to return most of our guys at safety. And so I'm wondering if the second guy we're looking at, if we're looking at someone who's more in that nickel safety, Donovan Kaufman, kind of mold as someone to fill that second spot, or are we looking for another true safety, you think?
I would say that Terrence Love probably fits the nickel position pretty well. So you might look for more of a true safety, a guy that's got some coverage skills. And Cedric Hawkins is a guy that's committed to Ohio State that we've been tracking. Maybe wouldn't close the door completely on Sylvester Smith that's committed to Tennessee.
Jeremiah Anglin, who's going to visit.
Yeah, England.
Dakari Nelson.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if we took 2 more safeties, if I'm being completely honest. And yes, I know we're returning a lot in that room, but it feels like a lot of them are guys that are probably more comfortable playing to the line, playing closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I think that there's room to take 2 guys that can play deep in the back end in this class. I think, like you said, T-Love is so versatile, Cole, in that he could play the star linebacker or he could play the nickel. He can play the boundary safety. He can do so much for you that it frees you up with who you want to pursue in this class. And it just speaks to, Zach's evaluation of getting that kid like that in early, if I'm being completely honest, to have that kind of a versatile piece.
Right.
Yeah, that's good insight. I feel good about the rest of that 23 board. Not going to stop pounding the table for Sanquon Clark. Can keep pounding the table for him, hoping Auburn eventually circles back. But kind of switching gears to 2024 kid coming to Big Cat, Alabama kid, I think it's Kvon Henderson. We're at about 233. Where are you projecting him? Where do you see him playing on the line? Is he just a pure edge guy, or is he someone? I don't know. Where do you see him fitting?
Jhead?
Yeah.
I think
Cole,
he's
Jhead. Go Jhead.
Yeah, I think he's 233 right now as a sophomore in high school going into his junior year. I fully expect him to grow into a 5-tech, if I'm being completely honest. And yes, he's got the skill set to play on the edge, but his frame at 230 already, like you put a kid like that in a college strength and conditioning program, they're going to be 260 by the time they eat a biscuit in college. Okay. It's just one of those situations that happens where it's a natural growth and progression. So while he's got the skill to play on the outside of the edge, I think he's a guy that's going to grow into more of an inside guy as he continues to develop.
Yeah, I would agree with that. From the hometown of Charles Barkley, too, Leeds, Alabama.
Who was the kid, Jeffrey? You covered his recruitment inside and out. He was a linebacker that played like nose tackle or nose guard. God, man, he was at Auburn for like a couple of years and ended up falling out.
He was a big 4-star recruit too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he really was. Big time athlete.
Oh shit, man, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I know, man.
Oh, the name is on the tip of my.
God, man.
Is it somebody from Leeds or is it just somebody you're thinking of?
Somebody from Leeds.
Yeah, he was from Leeds.
Huh.
I don't know how back far to look. Was it? Well, I mean, are we talking like 2008?
God, man, I think it was Gus's second class.
Oh, okay. So what? Be 14?
Oh man,
I believe so.
That's gonna drive me crazy, Jhead.
Damn it, Jhead. We were doing something.
I know, right?
Lookout said, I'm out, big dog.
It wasn't Javier Mitchell, was it?
So, yeah, Javier Mitchell.
Yeah, that's it.
Jonathan Rose. Those
Jonathan Rose.
Both from Leeds.
Yes.
Both were good players, and then good recruits, big recruits.
Yes, Jonathan Rose, and then Javier Mitchell. Yeah, Javier Mitchell. Yep. What year was that, Cole?
Hey, bring that Leeds connection.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a Leeds pipeline.
And Charleston basketball. Hey, Barkley needs to stay away from that live tour. I'll say that.
Hey.
But speaking of basketball, had a basketball recruiting question for you as well. Wondering as they're looking, basketball's 13 scholarships. As you're looking at who you're taking, was Zep Jasper kind of being the only guy that's like, up with eligibility after this year? Feels like Holloway's got that spot. You really don't, no, probably 0% chance you see Flanagan come, use a COVID year. So you think that's probably Wesley Yates there. How do you think Bruce is looking at kind of filling out if he's taking more high school guys? You got all these guys with eligibility, but you also got high school guys that are probably ready to commit. How do you think they balance that basketball roster, kind of looking at who we're taking versus what scholarships we even have available?
I don't. Jaylee, I think I can answer.
Okay.
So to me, it looks like you're probably going to take about 4 guys in this class. Obviously, you already spoke about our need at point guard. Obviously, with Zep probably moving on after this season, Al Flanagan is moving on after this season. I don't think there's any question as far as that's concerned, whether he's playing in Europe or whether he's playing in the NBA. So you're looking at a wing, you're looking at a point guard. I think you're also looking for a stretch four-man because I think this is Jalen Williams last year. So you're obviously going to need some depth behind him and the big five-star talent we brought in this past season. And then I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that that Broom could move on after this year either. I mean, I think they think he's big time. This is an opportunity for him to explode on the scene. And if he has a really big year, I think there's a chance that he could be gone. So somewhere between 3 to 4 off the top of my head is I think is what you're looking at right now.
That's what I was told. Jhead 3, and then maybe it adjust if it happens. But point guard, wing, and of course they would have taken Bay Fall because they invested so much into it. But it looks like he's going to Arkansas. So I feel comfortable in Aiden Holloway and Wesley Yates. I don't think I'm breaking any news there. Hot taking anybody there, and then 1 to 2 more.
Yep, that's what I see as well, Jay Lee.
You guys think the lead guy on that 4 spot right now is replacing Jay Lee or Jay Will? You think that's that Butler kid? You think that's kind of who is plan A at this point with Fall, baseball kind of out?
I do. I mean, I don't know that he is on the same level, or they think of him on the same level as Bayfall. Bayfall would have been the guy they wanted. Now, I always thought Bayfall was a big, tall center, Walker Kessler type guy. He was a true 5. I know Walker could have played the 4 a little bit too, but I do think Jordan Butler will be the new name to watch for that spot, with Bayfall likely headed to Arkansas. Jordan Butler. Who am I forgetting? Anybody? Jhead?
I'm going to be honest with you, Jay Lee. I know we're going to do a show where we talk about basketball recruiting.
I need to do some too, man.
I need to brush up a little bit. It's been a while since I've doubled back there because of how everything's been in football lately.
Yes, me too.
I will do some research before next call-in show. Please call back, and I'll have all those answers for you. Okay, buddy?
I tell you what, we'll do that after next week. Jordan Butler, okay. Hassan Diop, Gus Yalden. Now, see, here's what the book out. I checked on this last week when I was trying to figure out what Aiden Holloway was going to do. And, of course, nobody knew him, not even people that should. But it was those 2 guys and Jordan Butler. But Bayfall was the guy they wanted, and they would have taken Hassan Diop because those 2 are probably going to end up at the same school together anyway. So they would have taken both of those guys, with Fall and Diop likely headed to Arkansas now. I was trying to – it's KJ Evans. Kwame Evans, 5-star number 3 overall player, took an official visit to Auburn back in June. Obviously Arizona is going to be tough to beat for him. But I'm just trying to throw some more names out there, guys that have actually visited or will visit Auburn. But we will let's look out. Let us get through Big Cat and let's revisit this, Jhead. Let's do it, and we might even get Jay Phillips on here one show, and we'll talk basketball recruiting.
That would be great. I think that's exactly what we need to do.
Yeah, and I think that's about what I was putting it at. I think Evans and probably that dude Xavier Booker just dropped Auburn in the top 10. They would probably take those guys over Butler, but it feels like Butler's probably more realistic for him at this point. So, but yeah, hey, appreciate it, fellas.
Appreciate you, Book Out.
Sure.
Appreciate you, Book Out. Thanks for calling, big dog.
All right, one more caller here. 256, you're live. Who we talking to?
How you doing, boys?
Hey,
again?
Is this
One more
both?
It's no hog bone.
Hogbone!
Hey, hog balls.
Yeah.
Hogballs.
Oh, Hugh Bailey, Bibb County. Yeah. I was calling. I was going to ask Coach Pink a question here.
Good.
What do you think
All right.
line scheme going to be here? You think we're going to do are we big enough to do it in man, straight on man blocking with maybe some angle in there, or is it going to be kind of a modified? What would you do if you were Will Friend? That's going to be interesting to watch this season. See what they do. I know we're doing zone already.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. It's gonna be heavy zone. hog bone, I think, because you don't want to put too much on your offensive line shoulders.
I didn't think we were ready. Yeah, I was hoping we were going to do a little, have enough to do a little man there. I think.
Well,
anyway, that'll work out. Whatever.
They might do some power and counter in there, some man blocking on that too. I wouldn't rule it out. It's going to be mostly zone though.
Yeah, that's kind of. I guess as long as Tanks used to finding the holes in it though now, so I guess that'll work out for us.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, where they were standing now. I didn't know what the capabilities were, but that's probably the safest bet at this point.
Right.
But they'll be good at it because they're a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate you, Hogbone.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Got a good show going.
Yes, sir.
I like that guy. I like him a lot.
Oh, Hogbone. Did he say Bibb County?
Bibb County. I think
County.
Centerville is what he told us last time.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't called him hogballs. You know what I mean?
I did that the first time.
Yeah, that was me, man.
He'll always be Hogballs.
I believe Hogbone had he had a big post that was pretty popular. On the board the other day.
Maslow Mitchell wants to know how we looking for Jacoby Lane. Cole, all I can tell you is that he plans to take an official visit, and I think is it Penn State?
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it will be for the Penn State game.
And he's
Jacoby Lane,
yeah,
being the 6'3", 6'4" wide receiver from Arizona, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that visit's set in stone yet. I think that's what he's eyeing.
Yeah,
the weekend he's eyeing for a visit. I think.
That's good stuff, though. That's a guy that we need to keep an eye on, keep track of. Cleveland Brown. Oh, Cleveland. Should we be concerned that Wilkie will still visit other styles? Sure. I mean, listen, Cole, I'm with you there. But anytime you're visiting other schools, there should be some concern because he's obviously not completely finished.
Right.
But I don't see him wavering just from talking to him. And I talked to him in depth last night before his about his decision, and this guy's pretty passionate about Auburn. He's pretty passionate about Rock Bellantoni. He's very loyal to these guys. He's a great kid. He's a great student. He's an early enrollee. He's not a guy that's going to go around in circles with you, lead you on, and then make a final decision there at the end. So I think Auburn, it's okay. They wanted to get him in the boat, and if he wants to take the visits, that's fine. Right. So they're not concerned, neither should we be. Decatur 97, Decatur Tiger 97. Any surprises lined up for Big Cat in terms of kids coming or kids popping the cherry? I like the popping the cherry part. I really addressed all that I have in the war room today, DT. I think we mentioned Jelani Thurman's coming. The potential, in my opinion, for the biggest surprise as far as a visitor goes is if Connor Lew were to show up. Yeah. Saturday afternoon. And that's kind of the one I'll be tracking. Other than that, I don't know of anybody else that's coming. It's not like everybody kept thinking Quay Russo and James Smith are going to show up, but I haven't heard anything like that. I think we've done a pretty decent job of covering and kind of giving everybody the heads up of what to expect. I think the war room today was the best that I could do, and that here are the guys I think will pop. And then here are some guys who might. We talked about, like Vyson Lang type guy, a Marcelius Pullum guy who gets there and gets kind of taken with the atmosphere and the coaches and says, "Man, let me in." And Auburn says, "Well, come on." I think there's a lot of borderline guys, but I think for the most part, I think Ashley Williams is really, who we're all looking for in the 2023 class. See what he does.
Right.
That's the best I got, DT. I know you read the war room. If you didn't, you're in trouble.
Actually, and Janoris Wilson, I think he's a guy we've been working for a minute now, and I think he's the kind of guy that could be infatuated enough with Auburn to pull the trigger.
You could say on the bubble, somebody to definitely watch.
I think definitely on the bubble.
Same goes for Jatavius Shivers and Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them. Those are we mentioned the word prototypical. Those are your prototypical Big Cat surprise type kids, right. Like that. Nobody really, just Shivers is a former Vanderbilt commitment. So it's not like, he's going to wait and take Alabama and Clemson and all this. I mean, he's the kind of guy that Auburn shows enough love to. He might say, let me in. Same for Tyler Johnson. And that dude is you won't get him on the phone. So those are guys, in my opinion, DT, that we don't know as much about. Not really just to say I'm expecting anything. I don't expect them to commit, but I also wouldn't be surprised if those kind of guys go ahead and get on board.
Yeah, wouldn't either.
Good
We
stuff.
got a caller here. 251. You're live. Who we talking to?
Hey, Scoot Newton.
Oh, Scootin'.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
We've been waiting on you, Scoot.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
can,
got
man.
What you got?
Okay, I got you. How's the show been? Everything been positive since we got a commitment tonight?
Hey, much better.
sure. Definitely more than usual.
Bill. Well, I got a favor to ask. I've done climbs a mountaintop. To the point where I'm thinking Auburn's for sure going to be 9-3, 10-2. I need some of y'all to kind of talk me down a little bit and get me back into this reality.
You came to the wrong place, big dog.
I look at the roster from last year to this year, and the only position group that I feel like that we're not going to be just as good or not better is the linebackers.
Yeah.
You look at the secondary. I mean, you lost Roger McCreary, which would be hard to replace, but you got a little bit more depth there. To me, it's what it looks like, a little bit more depth.
Yeah, I agree.
The wide receiver room looks more talented. I mean, now that'll play out in the first 4 or 5 weeks, but I think we have more talent at the wide receiver spot than we did last year. We just don't have the experience. So, am I crazy to think that 9-3, 10-2 is pretty attainable?
It's a possibility.
I think it's a legit possibility. Yeah, Jay, I completely agree.
Realm of possibility. Would I expect that? No.
Right.
I think 8-4 is a very leveled expectation of what, is possible this season. Now, look, nobody is a bigger momentum team than the Auburn Tigers, okay? And if things get rolling, those first 5 games in Jordan Hare, brother, hold on, because it could be a wild ride to that back half. Now, this is what I will tell you. Depth could be an issue if you get injuries at key positions. If that happens, the wheels could fall off on the back half. So you have to be a little bit measured in your expectation of this team. But I think 8-4, because look, I don't buy the hype on Ole Miss. I just don't. Okay, you don't have that many pieces and expect it to all coalesce into something that's going to be perfect off the bat. I don't buy Arkansas. I just don't. I know they're bringing back their quarterback. I know that they've got some decent defensive pieces, but they also lost Grant Morgan, who was their key middle linebacker and leading tackler from last season. And we took it to them. It wasn't like it was a fluke that we beat Arkansas. We punched them in the nose in their house and physically whipped them in that game. You get LSU at home. You get Penn State.
That's why I'm having a hard time finding 4 losses on the schedule.
For me, it's
I think Alabama, Georgia, probably losses. A&M, if it was at A&M, I'd count that as a for sure loss. With it being at home, you saw what they said at SC Media Days, and it's the hardest place to play. I mean, and that's the truth.
And
so
look,
to me, that's a 50-50 swing, even though A&M is more talented than us.
Yeah, I agree with you on 50-50 now on those kind of games.
I'll tell you a sneaky team that I'm watching is Mississippi State because of the physicality on their defensive line. If we try to play in a phone booth with them this year and run inside zone like we did last year, we are going to get absolutely stuffed. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to hit the outside zone, and we're going to have to be able to hit some vertical shots against them to loosen it up because Zach Arnett is too good at what he does with run gap, with one blitz and one fits for us to play straight up with them this year. We're going to have to get sideways in that game and figure out a way to hit some creases. But that's a team in their house in Stark Vegas. When those cowbells get to ringing, man, that can be a really tough place to play. So don't overlook Mississippi State this season. I know that traditionally we're better than them, but that's a game that I'm very cautious about as far as that's concerned.
Well, that's the one team that
I damn sure overlooked. But guys, I appreciate you,
Scoot.
y'all time. I love what y'all do. Y'all keep doing it. It's been I think I've been on for about a year now. It's been a great $10 investment.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you, Scoot. Hey, I'll tell you how I see the schedule real quick. Just throw my 2 cents into that. I know I'm a recruit guy, but Alabama and Georgia, I don't expect Auburn to win. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I just don't expect them to win. So there's 2 losses in my opinion. And then there are 4 50-50 games on that schedule. And I think Auburn will win 2 of them. And then that takes you to 8-4.
Yep.
There are 4 50-50s on that schedule, and Auburn wins, and you go 2-2 in that, and you finish 8-4. And I really think the floor is 7-5, and the ceiling is 9-3.
I agree.
So 8-4 is your median there. And I hope people that's not a Gus Malzahn 8-4.
No, that's a solid 8-4.
Oh, that's a good season, especially with the shit that's going on. These players believing in these coaches, man. The recruits seeing that. There's no telling what happens if Auburn comes out. You go 8-4, and then you go to a bowl game and get you a ninth win.
That's big.
Yeah, it's like a rise from the ashes. I mean, to some of these recruits, the way I've talked to them and learned what they viewed that whole February deal as, it'd be like a rise from the ashes to them. I mean, seriously, they would go, man, that was crazy.
I think nationally, people would the PR. People love sticking it to the Auburn boosters, right? The national media. Oh man, Harsin would be the darling of the media if he were to go 8-4 in regular season.
Yeah.
So Trevon Reed, Jake Todd wants to know. I think we hit this earlier. Trevon Reed tweeted out the eyes after the Wilkie year. Do you think it was about Wilkie or another problem? After the Wilkie commitment, then he's talking about this weekend.
Yeah,
Big Cat. Yeah, Big Cat. Jake.
Think about where Trevon Reed's from, brother. Think about the state of Louisiana. We ain't done yet. Who do we have coming in from the state of Louisiana? Okay.
Tyler?
You got him.
Ashley Williams as well.
Oh, Ashley. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Williams. So,
I was like, Jaden, I was very incoming.
No.
Oh, Maslow's back.
Right there.
Is it true that because Georgia missed on the running back board, they will be heavily pursuing Cobb? Go ahead, Jhead. What do you think?
Yeah, they're going to pursue him, but they got 0 shot. Look, if Clemson, who's been recruiting him from day one, is not going to be able to come in and get this kid away from Carnell Williams, I don't care what Dale McGee does. The bond between Carnell and this kid's family and how he sees Auburn and his opportunity there far exceed what Georgia's selling right now in the backfield that they have, okay? Georgia's late on this one. They're not going to flip this kid unless the wheels completely fall off the bus for us this year, and we're looking at a brand-new coaching staff.
If Carnell Williams is here in December, so is Jeremiah Cobb.
100%.
Yeah, I would agree.
WDE 33. Over-under on Big Cat commits. 2023. Oh, 1.5 is where I would set the over-under. 33. 24 is 2.5. I'm going to take the under.
Yes.
On 23. I think Ashley Williams right now is the only one and he may not. Don't get me wrong. So I'm going to take the under on the 2023, 2024, 2. I will probably take, is there another one? But right now I'm taking the under 2. But again, there's those bubble guys that we were talking about.
Yep.
That that wouldn't surprise me. But right now, 33, I'm taking the under on both, and I'm setting them at, I'm saying 1 2023 and 2 2024s. But who knows?
Yeah, right.
Parker Beasley, is it possible Harsin is so miffed by the coup to oust him that he's going to try to win when bounced to another job? No, I don't think so.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
Parker's saying, is he going to win 8-9 games and say deuces? I'm out of here. I don't think so. Dude, this guy, no, sir.
Not after all that. Right.
I will say this. I don't think he's looking for another opportunity. Okay. I don't think he's looking for another opportunity at all. I don't think he's interested in another opportunity. But look, if a big time job comes open and they come calling and Auburn's not willing to match the salary that they're willing to offer him. Well,
so UCLA or a Cal or a Oregon or.
Yeah, they're not pulling him. I mean, Oregon potentially could pull him because of what they could offer financially, but those other schools, they can't touch that.
You got to remember where he left.
Right.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, the whole thing that he's from Boise, Idaho. He went there. He's coached there all his life, whatever.
Family.
And then decides to,
Load
he
up.
wanted to take a leap of faith and go try his hand at the SEC.
This guy's too big of a competitor, stubborn as hell, which is everything you want in a coach. And I think him leaving would be almost like admitting defeat, just to the boosters, if nothing else. I think he's dug in, son. I think he's not going anywhere. 33 also wants to know about Hawkins and Thurman, potential flip. Cedric Hawkins, Cole mentioned him earlier. Potential flip. I don't think Thurman right now. I think Jhead, you can attest to this, man. Thurman, I do not see that happening, at least not right now.
No.
Cedric Hawkins, go ahead with Thurman there, Jhead.
If Thurman's going to happen, it's going to be late. It's going to be closer towards signing day. I do know that family ties are important to this young man, and his mom is a decision maker. Okay, let's make no bones about it. His mom carries a lot of weight in that recruitment. So you got to win mama in the end. If Auburn can continue to work that relationship with her and show better than expected this season, I think we can be a contender with, we can be a contender with Thurman down the stretch.
You can make it interesting.
Right. We can make it interesting. But right now, I would not expect Jelani to flip. I think Hawkins is probably more on flip watch.
Me too.
But I wouldn't expect it to happen right now. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to break late.
An official visit in the season, and Auburn really does make some noise. Honestly, he would be on my flip watch if I were to make a list right now. I really think Auburn can get him. I think Auburn's got a potential to get him from Ohio State. I think Thurman's going to take more work, but Auburn can make him sweat. But I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't expect it. I'd be surprised and happy if either one of them did. Oh, Blake R. All I want to know is who's next in your gentlemen's opinions to commit. We think class of 2023. We think the best option possibility is Ashley Williams Saturday, Adrian Posse and Amon Lane. And then the following week would be Connor Liu. The following week would be J.C. Hart. Anybody else would be a surprise to us, Blake.
Yeah.
Oh, TJ, Thomas Jones. Any rumors about Georgia transfer Clay Webb will be at Big Cat Weekend? Are there rumors? I hadn't heard that.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't either. In fact, I haven't heard anything on Clay Webb's recruitment since he initially hit the portal.
I haven't either.
I think he's asking, are there any rumors about? No, nothing I know of, TJ. I don't expect.
I didn't realize he was still in the portal.
I didn't either. The last I heard, he was going to go to Jacksonville State. That was the likely landing spot.
I do not expect to hear much on that. Malik Feaster, who is a transfer defensive back, has a Florida State offer. He picked up some others. He asked Zach about him last week because he picked up a FSU offer. Could be huge quarterback. There is some interest from Auburn. I don't know that they're really pushing, but I mean they're aware of him. Let's put it that way. That's all. That's what I know. If anybody else has anything, that's all I got though. Wes R. What has surged this momentum in the state of Florida on the trial? What?
Brock, Bill, and Tony.
What has surged this momentum in the state of Florida on the trial?
Trail, I think is what he meant.
Oh,
so yeah.
Shit. My bad, Wes.
Well, no, you said trial, right? But I think he meant to spell trail.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I'm an idiot like that too, Wes. So I should be able to relate. So the state of Florida, Brock, Bill, and Tony, right?
I was at Rock, Bill, and
Tony. He's opened up that state.
People don't understand. I'm telling you, this guy can recruit. He can relate to people. I wrote it today in my behind the scenes, but I'm telling you, there's a reason Derek Hall went to bat for him to get this job.
Yeah.
People believe in this guy, man. I'm telling you, if you ever met him, he is as good as they come.
And I don't think it's just, the individual recruit that he's touching base with. It's the connections that he has throughout that state. You know what I mean? That are helping the entire staff get into high schools that we didn't have connections to before. The fact that his family has lived in Florida, the fact that he coached at Florida Atlantic, he's just developed relationships over the years that we're taking advantage of right now. And this was big. I mean, him being on staff is big for us.
Big.
Yeah, it is.
Huge. Anubis, should we expect a ratings month for Lou at some point? We went over this. I don't know if it was in the Shrivel Pod or what was on this show, but we all think, and I guarantee you, anybody who knows anything about football and watches this kid, and wants this kid, thinks he is a Sunday talent. Yes. I know Jhead and Cole both love this kid. They think he's in at least low 4-star guy. Really good guy.
And he's already had a bump on 3. I mean, if you look at his actual individual ranking done by on 3, he shot from an 86 to an 89, which is a very high 3-star, verge of 4.
Right on. Eric Packers wants to know, our last big-time offensive lineman was Kvon Ashley after Greg Robinson and Braden Smith. Why has that happened? Gus lost touch with it, and that's Harson's problem. Our last big offensive lineman was Kvon Ashley after Greg Robinson and Braden Smith being drafted so high. Why has that happened? Gus lost touch with it, and that's Harson's problem. I tell you what, Gus's problem was you talk about negative recruiting, and it's probably justified. You think an offensive lineman, it was very difficult in Gus's scheme. Cole, you probably know better about this than I do, but what I was hearing from the recruits was people were telling him, if you want to play offensive line in the NFL, you damn sure don't want to go play for Gus Malzahn. Like, you're not going to learn how to play offensive line in the NFL playing for a guy like that and a system like that. Excuse me.
Right. It was a little too maybe simplistic, where you're not going to learn a lot of these schemes that they're doing in the pros and the pro style offenses. So that was a big, negative recruiting tool, I guess you could say, against Gus Malzahn's offenses. And which I thought it would make more of a difference now that you got a pro style offense, but you got to prove that you can run the pro style offense. And Auburn was not, they were middle of the road last year. So when they see an uptick in that, maybe that'll help. And maybe sending some offensive linemen to the pros would help too. But that's kind of what they're dealing with right now.
I can speak to that personally. I sat on a podcast with Jhead and Reese Dismukes this past February, where Reese basically said, and I quote, "I was not prepared for the NFL at all coming out of Gus's offense. If I had not been as smart as I am," and he's being honest. I mean, Reese is a smart guy.
He only knows honesty, I think.
Trust me, that's for sure. But he came on and said, listen, we weren't IDing Mike linebackers. We weren't doing, half the things that you're supposed to do, at the pro level. I mean, it was get them lined up, make, one change at the line of scrimmage and go. The whole point was to go as fast as you possibly can. And for wide receiver play and for offensive line play, it definitely hurt us. And for the person that was talking about Cody Burns before, not seeing a lot of development with our wide receivers, well, look, Cody's a smart guy. He's coached at 3 different Power 5 schools, and now he's a wide receiver coach in the NFL for the New Orleans Saints.
Right.
He can develop players. That's not an issue. There are scheme limitations with what we were doing before. And I'm not trying to bash Gus, because it was one of the most prolific offenses I've ever seen, in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, absolutely.
JP wants to know about Air Nolan. He's coming this weekend, very high on Auburn. I don't think he's going to commit. I think he at one time considered committing this weekend, but I think he's since backed off of that. Might wait and see what all happens. Be somebody to keep an eye on, though. You never know with him. We'll hit a couple more lightning around here, Zach, and then we'll Connor Lew announces August the 5th. What's each of your percentage for Auburn as of today? I've got him at 55%. Auburn leading Georgia. Y'all might be a little bit more confident, but
50 to 55 for me.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have the intel that you guys have as far as that's concerned. I think anytime that you're competing for a kid out of the state of Georgia that Georgia wants, it's going to be a tough pull, that's for sure. So I'm not counting this as a done deal, though I do think that there is a real chance that he commits to Auburn.
Yeah. We've got toss-up Auburn slide edge, if anything. Jack Hudgens wants to know, does Auburn space commitment announcements over Big Cat Weekend to continue momentum? Not this weekend. I think they're going to hit you with everybody they can Saturday. I think they've probably held off on a couple so that they can all. You want to leave. You want commitments. You want multiple commitments at Big Cat, or else it looks bad. Perception-wise, it's like, what the hell is this all this for? Didn't produce anything. I think at least 2 or 3 commitments will pop before the event even ends on Saturday.
And it's just a strong, tactic too, to do it in front of all those guys that are going to be
very
huge deal for them and their families to see that, and like they're locked in and they love it.
33's back. He wants to know, Auburn's still training for Air Nolan, training for Posse. Yeah. Air Nolan doesn't mind being part of a 2 quarterback system. He's already made that clear. Two quarterback class. I'm sorry. So that's not going to affect him in his recruitment. Do we think Nolan is on board? Yes, he is. Do you think he'll be back up? That's about all I got on Nolan, though. That's good. That's good, Zach. Appreciate you, 33. The Wolf, who got a how about you? How long until CJ Allen flips to Auburn? Jhead? CJ Allen?
About a quarter to never on that one, brother. I'm not feeling that as a flip target, if I'm being completely honest. If I am picking a flip candidate linebacker, I'm going with Lewis Carter. I think that Zach's connection to his head coach and to and Cardell's connection to DP definitely keep us in that. If Auburn has a better season than expected, Auburn's a heck of a lot closer to Tampa, Florida than Oklahoma. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one that I'm going to watch where I think we're going to try to get Lewis back on campus for sure. Especially if it's at a fever pitch for LSU, Penn State, something like that.
Oh, Brandon Fultz, it looks like. Fultz fades? Is that right? Fultz fades? Is that not one of those? Would you rather have C-Rob or T-Will as their linebackers coach? Do you think T-Will could have taken John DC? I recuse myself. No, listen, T-Will will always have – listen, here's the thing. You can't go wrong with either one of those two guys.
No, not at all.
I don't know C-Rob as far as the linebackers coach yet. He's yet to coach a game, right?
Well, yeah.
At Auburn.
At Auburn, yes.
But I know both of them are elite recruiters. I know T-Will a lot better than I know C-Rob. So you can't go wrong with either one of them, to be honest with you.
Well, it was time for T-Will to move up in the ranks.
Absolutely.
In the world too.
He is doing exactly what he needs to do right now.
And I think that's the second part of the question that I would answer. I think it says that, and do you think T-Will would have taken the linebacker job of the DC position at UCF? No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
No,
I think initially he probably would have taken the linebacker job, but if Gus offers that DC position at UCF, he's gone. It didn't matter.
No doubt.
He knew he was ready to be a DC. He needs to prove that to elevate. To get to be a Power 5 DC and then potentially a head coach. That's at the time, I remember he wanted to stay at Auburn. He wanted to be on Brian Harson's first staff. But once Gus got that job at UCF, it didn't matter. And he was going to offer him the DC job. Travis wants to be a head coach. He wants to be the head coach at Auburn.
Right.
So the quickest way to do that is to work up the ranks, and he did that with Gus. And they're I love those two. They work really well together, and he's exactly where he needs to be. How many commits by week 1? We all agree 8, Patrick.
There's that question.
Yep. 8. Mark Maslow's back. Do you think Sterling Dixon commits on Big Cat? He's a bubble guy. He's a bubble guy. I think he would have. He went to Alabama on Monday, earned an offer. I think he had a little workout or camp or something, didn't he?
Camp. Yeah.
Earned an offer from Alabama. We neither one of us think that was by coincidence. I know what was going down. He was coming to Big Cat to commit, which is why I'm not putting it past him. He's one of those bubble guys that I would not be surprised either way. If he doesn't commit, I wasn't expecting him to. If he does commit, I'm not surprised by it at all.
Right.
Give us one more, Zach. Let's get one more, and then I want to get everybody prepared for next week and our shows and our programming alert. Do you have any more, Zach? If not, that's good. We did a good job.
No, that's it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so listen, we got Big Cat weekend this weekend. What's today? Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Big Cat's going to be Saturday. I'm going to be in Alaska, but Cole and Keith Niebuhr are going to be killing it as always. Hell, Keith can do this by himself. He always does. He always has.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get any drop in coverage with Keith there. Matter of fact, you probably get a little bit better. I'm going to be doing what I can from Alaska, but I promise you I'm not going to be looking to do things in Alaska. I'm going to be fishing. But we got Big Cat this weekend, and then next week we're going to be back. I'm not going to be back till Thursday night. So Cole and Jhead's going to head up on and Zach will jump in there, help with the call-in show next Tuesday night at 6:30. Unless y'all can't do it, I'll let y'all handle the change. And then we're going to do a Shrivel Pod next Friday morning after I get back late Thursday night. So a lot coming out, and I'm telling you, if you're not a member of Auburn Live on 3, this is the time to do it. It's a 7-day free trial right now. Today is the day to do it because it's going to take you through Big Cat. It's going to get you all the way up to Connor Lou's commitment, which is next Friday afternoon. So a lot going down, man, a lot to take in. Football coverage will be starting. Our football practice will be starting soon. So will the season, man. It's going to be here soon. I can't wait. I'm ready to put all this behind us and stop. What'd you call it? Hypothesis?
Yeah, on the precipice of limitless hypotheticals.
There you go. There you go. We're done with that, man.
No
I'm
way
ready to
I'm
give that
remembering
done. So a lot going on, man. This week, sign up to Auburn Live on 3. We got an awesome message board too, the corner. Believe it or not, some people don't realize how good it is. It's really good. It's probably the best one I've ever had. I've ever been associated with. Oh, Jhead, you better watch out. People listening. But listen, hey, thanks to J. Lee's Pinkhead for calling back this week and answering my questions. AF Auburn, that's Bryce in North. Oh, shit, I can't even read my own writing. What the hell is this? North Texas, man. Remember, it's 110 degrees out there.
There you go.
Oh, Bryce out there in North Texas. J. Lee's Pinkhead from Woodland. Bow Tiger 4 from North Cali. Stay out of L.A., Bow Tiger. Book Out from North Carolina. Hickory. Hog Bone from Bibb County. And Scootin' Newton.
Yeah, great call.
We appreciate everybody's call, man. We appreciate everybody listening. We love doing this, man. We're going to keep doing it for you. We hope to see everybody back next week. Y'all be doing it without me, but we might make it a better show. But we're going to leave it out. Hey, Zach, thank you so much, Big Dog. We really appreciate you, man. Everybody go check out Zach McKinnell in the Blue Bloods podcast. Does a fantastic job. And really enjoy Zach, man. Does a great job. For Jhead, for Cole, and Jeffrey Lee, man, everybody, we appreciate you. Stay out of the left lane. See you.